guys, it's Juanita Coley here, and I am sitting down with none other than Michelle. I'm going to let her introduce herself because she does such an amazing job. Michelle, tell us where you're from and what you do.
Hi, I am Michelle Cirocco, and I am the Chief Impact Officer for an organization called Televerde, as well as the Executive Director for the newly founded Televerde Foundation.
So like I was telling you earlier, I became an instant fan when I was at the CX Summit and you guys won the Excellence Award. Janeffa introduced the award, and the reason I became a fan because it reminded me of my grandmother. She did prison ministry and all of those different things, and I know that's a lot of what Televerde Foundation does. So if you can tell us more about how those two ties in together.
Yeah, well, it's fascinating that your grandmother was involved in prison ministry, because that is exactly how the Televerde Foundation got started. There was a gentleman who was involved in prison ministries and wasn't able to have the access to the women in prison that he wanted, and he felt like there was more that needed to be done for them, and so he started a call center inside the women's prison in Phoenix, Arizona back in 1994. And from there, we have grown and evolved to become the company we are today, which is we have engagement centers in women's correctional facilities in Arizona, Indiana, Florida, Her Majesty's Prison in Manchester, England, and we've had over 4,000 women work for us while they were incarcerated and get out of prison and go on to have real professional careers in sales and marketing and technology jobs.
Now, it just blows my mind when I heard the story about Televerde, and like it was making me think, why contact center? Like there's so many different things that he could have said, hey, I want to start a manufacturing, or I want to start this, or I want to start that. Why contact center?
Yeah, well, I think honestly, at that point, he was somebody who had a background in call centers, and Arizona is always been known for having a lot of contact centers. And so they started it, him and his partner started it, but they didn't really know where they were going to go with it. And so when they met Jim Hooker, our former CEO and co-founder, Jim came with a background in technology. He was a former IBM sales executive. He'd built and sold a couple of computer leasing businesses in the early 90s. And he actually looked at it and thought, you know what, if we can teach the women to sell technology, we can build a profitable business in what's going to be a booming industry, and provide the women with the marketable skills that will enable them to actually make really good money and be able to take care of themselves. And so that's what he focused on, was selling technology.
So what I also love about Televerde is the career pathing, how this ladies start in contact center, but then you have other places for them to go, whether that's accounting and all of those different things. How are you guys strategically mapping out? Do you sit down and say, hey, this is what your skill set is, and let's kind of build a career path, or do you already have plans that are built out? Or it's really actually amazing when you think about it, because we start with women who, in many cases, have never had a job at all. And so the first thing we do is teach them the skills. The first thing we do is we teach them to believe in themselves. So we're taking people who are at kind of the worst imaginable space in their life. They've lost everything, including their confidence, and teaching them that they can learn and that they can grow and they can actually have more. And so we first teach them kind of business fundamentals and communication. Then they go on the phones and start to learn customer service and inside sales. And then we just encourage them to explore wherever they want to go, and we provide the paths and the opportunities for them. And so even while they're incarcerated, the women will go into positions as project managers, account managers, business intelligence analysts, creating dashboard reports, and technical administrators. In fact, we've even trained up some of the girls to be 5/9 administrators, outreach administrators, Salesforce.com administrators. They build the campaigns, they manage all of the tools and the technology necessary to run our business. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So do you only work with the ladies that are like in the prison program, or do you do my brain is firing on like all cylinders. So I'm thinking like preventative care. What about I'm like maybe troubled teens or different things. And the reason I'm asking that, so a lot of what people know about my story is I was a teen mom, right? So I kind of started off in the contact center. I picked up a book called Blue Pumpkin, and I kind of self-taught myself how to call center operations and went on to do amazing things, right? And so I'm thinking about like how much more impactful, or I mean, not that you guys aren't making great impact already, but preventative care, like how could we get teen moms or things before they get into a prison system or things like that? What are you guys' thought on that?
Well, I would love to be able to help everybody, you know, and so we do really at this point are focused on the women in our correctional facilities. Most people don't realize this, but the U.S. is #1 in incarceration. 1 in 2 people in our country have an immediate family member that's currently and formerly incarcerated. And the women's incarcerated population has grown by 750% in the past 15 years. And honestly, like from where I sit, what's really challenging is that 4 out of 5 women in prison are mothers, and 66% of their children are under the age of 18. So in its own way, this is our form of preventative care, because we believe that we've seen from experience is that if we can fix the woman, we can fix the family.
This is true.
So when we empower her to have the skills and the tools and the opportunities to get out of prison and have a real career, she will then become a role model for her children and for her family, which then breaks that generational cycle of poverty and incarceration.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's we've seen just phenomenal results. I always have to brag about the results because, like I said, 4,000 women have gone through the program. They get out of prison and they've got a 95% employment rate compared to the national average of only 54% for a formerly incarcerated woman. Earning salaries 4 times the national average.
Amazing.
Amazing, yes.
Amazing.
Yes, and a recidivism rate that's 91% lower than the national average. Like very specifically, 5.6% recidivism compared to 50 or 60% is what the usual is. And so it's just making a huge difference, not just in their lives, but their families and in their communities.
So what's the expansion plan? Like what's next for Televerde and Televerde Foundation? Like, I feel like I need to...
You need to know. So that's what, so for Televerde, we will continue and to grow and expand our business within the correctional facilities. We'll also look at other marginalized populations. Like one group that we're looking at is military spouses, because they are such a transient lifestyle, they have a difficult time, right? So looking at providing opportunities for people in that space, disabled vets. But for the women and the incarcerated women, as I said, there's so many women now that are in prison. There's 81,000 women who get out of prison every year, and only a couple hundred have the opportunity to work for Televerde. And so the foundation in particular is we're looking at how do we leverage the success that we've had so that we can reach more of these women. And we're opening up workforce development centers. We opened our first one in Arizona, where we're just going in, training the women to be customer service and inside sales professionals, and then pairing it with our robust re-entry programming that we built for the Televerde women and job placement opportunities so that they can have a similar experience. And then continuing to expand that. So we have 1 workforce development center in Arizona right now. We want to develop 3. We want to open 3 in Indiana, and then just continue to replicate that model across the country, because these are skills that when people learn these skills, you know from your experience, it can change their lives. And there's the growing skills gap in our country. I mean, there are so many open jobs. So we're really looking for companies that we can partner with that will come alongside of us and say, yes, please.
I was just going to ask you that. How can
help me build a talent pipeline. So for example, we can go in one of these workforce development centers. We'll train them on the business fundamentals, all of the skills, provide them all the re-entry resources and support, but we can also then start to onboard them and give them industry-specific or business-specific training so that they can come out and go right into an internship or a direct hire for a company who is sponsoring the creation of one of these workforce development centers.
My brain is tingling.
Yeah, so that's really how companies can help, is you can sponsor women going through the program, you can sponsor and support the building of a workforce development center, or you can just become an employment partner and saying, I'd like to hire some of this amazing talent.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sitting down and talking with me. I am, like I said, just over the moon about Televerde and the foundation and all of the amazing work that you all are doing, and I would love to stay connected.
Yeah, well, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share the story and to sharing it with others, because that's how we make a difference, right? It's changing the hearts and minds one person at a time.
One person at a time. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You heard it here first. Bye.